I love it when Christians have questions for atheists, because then they're at least pretending like they're interested in learning something. I'm wearing my trench coat for this one because the massacre said I should get a trench coat. But I have a trench coat. I bought it in Berlin like 7 years ago. But anyway, on to the questions.
Question number 1. Can you prove with 100% certainty that there is no God?
Yes, you can absolutely prove there is no God as easily as you can absolutely prove that there are no married bachelors, because God is a self-contradictory, nonsensical concept. See this video.
Question number 2. Do you believe that faith or lack of faith is a choice?
Yes, if there is truly conclusive or compelling evidence for something, you can't help but believe it. Faith is believing in something for which there is not sufficient evidence to naturally convince you. Pascal, for example, the guy who proposed Pascal's wager, suggested that if you don't naturally have any religious beliefs, then you should just go through the motions and do the rituals of Christianity, and eventually you will grow a belief within yourself. But if you are deliberately cultivating a belief in yourself in this manner, obviously you are doing it out of your own free will. You are making a choice to believe.
Question number 3. Do you have faith or hope in anything you can't see? And if so, what is it that you have faith or hope in?
Well, I hope for a great many things. I hope that the funding for the James Webb Telescope doesn't get cut. I hope that the Conservative Party of Canada loses its parliamentary majority. I'm not sure what having hopes has to do with religion or being an atheist. Do I have faith in anything? No, I don't think I do. I don't think there's anything of which I am totally convinced without sufficient evidence. There are things for which I have little evidence that I highly suspect are true, but there's absolutely nothing about which I am completely convinced that aren't apodictically obvious or for which I do not have sufficient evidence. Every one of my beliefs that's not absolutely undeniable is entirely contingent.
Question number 4. In your opinion, if a creation class was accepted in school, but was 100% elective, and the teacher who taught the class was a certified teacher, but didn't get paid, would you still have a problem with this elective course?
I don't think any public resources should be used for a religious course, especially if it's a religious course aimed at promoting that religion. Not only should the teacher not get paid to do that course by the state, but the state should also not provide any public buildings or any public resources for that course whatsoever. And that elective course should not be allowed to count towards a public school diploma. But if you want to have a class that teaches religious doctrine outside of a school that doesn't use any public funding or any public resources, that's fine with me.
Question number 5. As an atheist, do you think that your life is more fulfilling than a Christian's? And if so, why?
Well, my life is perhaps not as fulfilling as that of every single Christian or every single Muslim or every single Hindu, because there are all manner of delusions about which a person can convince himself that give a much rosier picture of the world and one's place in it than you can get from sober and rational contemplation. But I'll say this. I am far more fulfilled by living a life in which there are few, if any, propositions that I am unwilling to question than I ever could be if I lived a life based on beliefs that I held without scrutiny or that I maintained through a deliberate suspension of judgment.